Well, hello there guys and girls, my name's Mikey, welcome back to my room, and today we've got this very rough, unscripted, bodged together video that I quickly wanted to produce for two main reasons. Firstly, at the end of this video I'm going to be announcing the winner of another of the graphics tablet giveaways. I'm just very generous like that. This one is the Huion H610 Pro graphics drawing tablet, so stick around for that. It's in conjunction with those lovely people at gearbest.com, so thank you very much. And also secondly, in relation to a conversation that I've been having quite a lot with you guys online recently, all about what do you tend to have playing in the background if you're someone who's sitting down to get a lot of artwork done. Now, in the conversations we've covered lots of albums I noticed with you guys, or films that you like to have back on in the background, so I thought I'd make a top 10 video about a very particular subgenre, and that is YouTube channels which tend to have long enough videos and are just about chill enough that you can whack them on in the background whilst you're getting your head down and cracking out a load of artwork. So you'll probably notice that my top 10 list, which is in no particular order, isn't really focusing on the greatest channels in the world, although to me all of these are incredibly good and you've probably heard of most of them, but really focusing on the fact that I quite like the voices and the accents. It's not too loud and in your grill, it's a little bit more laid back, and it's something that you can just let seep into the back of your head whilst you're getting the work done. So this is kind of a shout out video because across 2017 I have spent a lot of my time probably following these channels whilst I've been getting my own artwork done, and in some of the cases I've probably never once gotten into the comment section to say hello, so this is a very brief opportunity to kind of mention them back to the world. Bear in mind it's in no particular order and it's simply based on my own experience, so if you guys actually know of some other channels out there which are really good to have on in the background, quite chill listening, then get into the comment section, let me know, and I will steal your ideas and have a look across this year. So firstly, number 1. So for any Game of Thrones fans, you've probably already heard of AltShiftX. This is a channel which I really like to let run in the background because mostly the guy's voice is really chill, really mellow, and he does these very concise and analytical breakdowns of things that are going on in different seasons of Game of Thrones, different characters, and various fan theories as well. And he has a very good eye for the quality of the shows compared to what's been going on in the books. So yeah, always worth a little look, and one that I've probably replayed a lot of the episodes on as well. Number 2. As a kid, I grew up loving martial arts but never really taking an interest in wrestling, so I was really pleased to find myself getting thoroughly into OSW Review HD. These are 3 Irish lads that do these long form podcasts that chronologically critique the various eras of wrestling. They do it with great charm and humour. Again, they're very easy to listen to, a lot of them, and they have a lot of knowledge of what happened behind the scenes as well as critiquing what happens in front of the camera, so definitely worth whacking on some of these as well if you want to just crack on with the work. Number 3. Now I've tweeted about this before, but if you've ever enjoyed a classic movie then I strongly recommend Oliver Harper. This guy puts together these excellent retrospective reviews about various films which always gets the juices flowing, but also he does his own audio commentaries to loads of classic and modern films with a couple of friends of his in particular, and they just make for really good listening. He seriously knows his stuff when it comes to film production, whilst one of his friends, Richard, knows all about the Star Trek universe and another, Duncan, knows all about the James Bond franchises, so you can really just sit down, get some artwork done whilst you let these audio commentaries play, maybe even with your own copy of a film in the background. Number 4. Now I'm sure most of you have heard of bad lip reading, but Oral Noughts and their channel is something else altogether. Really weirdly around the holiday period I really got into playing all of their Star Wars videos back to back, and the reason why is because they do their own redubbings but they actually make their own fresh narrative to the films, and it is some really dark messed up shit, especially anything with Creepio. I strongly recommend this. Most of their videos are pretty succinct, but when it does come down to the long Star Wars dubs that they've been editing, they're borderline music videos, but again just great to have playing on in the background whilst you're getting some work done. Number 5. Now this one isn't actually a recommendation for any channel in particular, but basically just something that probably means more to British people, and that is going onto YouTube, whacking on the longest playlist you can find for QI and letting it just run for hours and hours whilst you're working. This is a British talk show which is a kind of a humour, information, fact show that basically just has a really nice, gentle, fun vibe about it. You have to take all of their information and facts with a pinch of salt because they might not have the best researchers in the world, but again it's something that you can just let roll in the background, and it's probably the closest thing to just gentle radio you can listen to. Number 6. Now I dare say everybody right now has heard of Ashen, but again, he's another guy with an English accent that you can just let his opinions and unboxings and food tastings and all sorts of stuff just rattle away back to back, video after video in the background, and it just makes for a really nice gentle accompaniment whilst you're getting the work smashed out. I dare say I probably have a bias about British YouTubers, but again, he's got the right kind of voice that you can just let him mumble away. Number 7. Now I mentioned this isn't really a review about music you can listen to in the background, and personally I don't like listening to too much music on YouTube because the albums are often broken up with loads of adverts and it kind of takes you out of the mood. However, I do like listening, especially recently, to the Chillhop music channel, and that's because they have an ongoing live stream of lo-fi hip-hop radio, which again is really good for mellow streaming artwork as well, and often one I listen into the background whilst I'm on Twitch. Number 8. Now, as someone who might not know too much about film but is certainly a fan of it, I do quite like Chris Stockman's channel as well. All of his reviews are obviously very short and succinct, but most importantly when it comes to getting work done, he has an analyze series where he sits down and really gets in depth about some movies that are really important to him. These again are much longer videos that you can play in the background back to back, and letting that information and the knowledge of the movie seep into the back of your head whilst you're getting your artwork done is always a nice way to go. Number 9. And at the other end of the spectrum we've got Fanboy Flicks. He also just talks about movies in great depth. Again, this is one of the people who just aren't overly loud and in your face. He's very neutral and just talks his way through stuff, but where Chris Stockman might analyse some movies which mean a lot to him in great detail, he'll stop and just analyse and put together reviews on films which are just terrible, really bad, but he does it with a really nice rhythm that I quite enjoy, and again, something that you can just let roll back to back in the background. Number 10. And yeah, it looks like there is a trend of me following film channels when it turns to me getting some artwork done. Another recommendation is George Rockall-Schmidt. He might be an expat but is otherwise a Brit with a very nice and again level and thoughtful accent and tone to his videos. Again, not someone who's getting too hyper and all up in the camera. I just can't be dealing with that when I'm trying to engage in some art, but he does some very good video breakdowns of changes in the history of the Alien franchise, the Terminator franchise and so on. Those longer videos are absolutely worth your time. And although I follow and love a lot of artists on YouTube, I don't really find myself listening to their videos whilst I'm getting my own artwork done, so don't think I'm discounting them. But having said that, probably worth a quick mention that I found a few artists on Twitch as well, which are really good to just play in the background because again, they're sitting down for hours doing their own artwork. You can have them on one screen whilst you're doing work on the other, with a particular shout to Madeline Inc. and Dave Greco Art. Again, both incredibly talented people and very chill, fun places to hang out. So yeah guys, that's it for my very super brief and rough top 10 YouTube channels that you might want to listen to if you need to sit down and get a load of artwork done. No idea how I'm going to make a title for this particular video, but that's a rough idea. I hope it made some kind of sense to you guys, and again I just wanted to kind of throw out a little thank you to them lot, even if I don't really engage with them, because I do appreciate what they do. So yeah, a great big thank you to everybody who entered into the tablet giveaway competition off of the back of the Christmas elf speed painting video we did. As ever, there were a load of entries, so what I did is I just copied the entire lot, stuck it into a random generation website that just put it in a completely random order and picked a winner from the top of the list, and that winner was Taurus Magnus. Well done, good sir or woman, congratulations. So please get in touch with me, pop an email over to mikeymegamega@gmail.com from the same address if you can, or try to get in touch by sliding into the DMs on social media. I'll be grabbing your address details for gearbest.com to pop you the tablet, but you have 1 week to comply and I don't want you to miss out. So yeah guys, that's the end of this episode. Thank you very much for following along. I do apologise for the very rough round the edges nature we've got going on today. The next Draw with Mikey episode is going to be on Thursday, so I'll see some of you guys then, and I hope you all have a bloody lovely week. Take care.